be up and running right now, but
You know what, Stephanie? Oh, well, never mind. Never mind. I was gonna say, let's just record it on your thing, but we'll take our chances. We'll live by.
It's live, so it looks like we've got it. So hopefully we're going to be good.
It's been about an hour or so, so should be
Yeah.
do
okay.
you want me to try and record it to my computer just in case?
No, I don't think we can do both. Just this is good. Good.
Okay.
Yes, Faith, you are muted. No problem at all. And Latoya, thanks so much for joining us from Region 11. Appreciate it. And Karen, if I missed you, Region 13.
If you're just now joining us, welcome. We're so glad to have you here today. We are going to get started here in just a moment. But in the meantime, we do love to hear from you. So feel free to jump in the chat box and say hello to us and let us know where you're from. And if you're joining us on Facebook, welcome. We're so glad to have you. Feel free to jump in the comment section and say hello to us and let us know where you're from. Welcome, Angie from San Antonio. We're so happy to have you here today. And all right, I have got Anthony from PACT. And hello, Cindy and James from Keller. So glad to have everybody joining us today. We're going to go ahead and get started because I have that it is that time. So welcome once again, and thank you all for joining us for today's webinar on preparing for higher education. What do I need to start doing now? My name is Stephanie McLaughlin. I am the Training and Evaluation Specialist with Partners Resource Network. Partners Resource Network is the nonprofit agency that operates the Texas statewide network of parent training and information centers. We are funded through the Department of Education Office of Special Education Programs. Throughout Texas, there are 4 PTI projects known as PACT, PATH, PIN, and TEAM. Our mission at Partners Resource Network is to empower and support Texas families and individuals impacted by disabilities or special healthcare needs. And also joining us today from Partners Resource Network is our Director of Statewide Services, Christina Henning, our Support Specialist, Chelsea Rivas, and our Technology Specialist, Zach Hidalgo. If you're having any technical difficulties, please reach out to Zach in the chat box and he can assist you with any problems that you are having. If you are needing a certificate of attendance for today's webinar, you will be receiving an email to thank you for joining today's webinar. You can follow the link in your email and get your certificate of attendance. At the end of our session today, we will have a time for some questions and answers. If you're joining us on Zoom today, please type your questions in the Q&A box. And if you're joining us on Facebook, you can type your questions in the comments and we'll be sure and get those. The recording of the webinar is being recorded, and the recording of the webinar will be available on our website at prntexas.org and also our Facebook page. All right, so let's get our fantastic speakers ready to go. So today joining us are staff from the Center on Disability and Development at Texas A&M. They work on improving lifelong opportunities and services for individuals with disabilities, their families, and the community through education, research, and service. So joining us today as our primary speaker is Kelly Majewski. She is a program director for iGrow. And so I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to allow you to share, and I am going to turn it over to you. Kelly, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Okay, sorry, here I am.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, thank you, Stephanie, for this opportunity for us to present today. We're excited. Transition is our passion here in the center, so we're excited to share about post-secondary education opportunities for our students. And again, my name is Kelly Majewski. I'm the iGrow Program Director for the center, and I was previously an educational diagnostician and transition coordinator at a rural high school here in Texas. I'm going to be presenting along with Dr. Wu, Leticia Lasota, and Anita Lang. This presentation was prepared by Dr. Orsag, Dr. Montague, and Dr. Roberts. Okay. All of us are part of the process when supporting students identify, plan for, and then working towards their transition post-secondary goals. This is transition planning. So what we're saying here is just to involve everyone in the process. It's not just the students, it's not just the parents, it's not just what the school wants, it's for everyone to be involved in that process. The transition planning requirements of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA. What is transition planning? We're just quoting here. Transition planning is a process mandated by the Individuals, the IDEA Act, for all students who have an IEP in K through 12 education. The purpose is to facilitate the students' move from school to post-school activities. The transition planning must start before the student turns 16. So here in Texas, we start the process before the student turns 14. So we plan a little bit earlier. Be individualized, be based on the student's strengths, preferences, and interests, and include opportunities to develop functional skills for work and community life. Post-secondary education is often a transition goal. Sometimes it's not their goal. Sometimes their goal is to go straight to work. One report stated that more than 80% of high school students with disabilities list post-secondary education as their goal, but only 60% of them enroll compared to 67% of their peers. Fewer students with disabilities complete college once they start, 41% compared to 52% of the general population. What do we mean by post-secondary education opportunities? So there's so many different opportunities when it comes to post-secondary education, and a lot of us only think about college. So post-secondary options are varied and may include public or private universities, colleges, community colleges, career and tech schools, vocational trade schools, centers for continuing education, campus transition programs, and apprenticeship programs. So some of those options are 4-year universities, 2-year community colleges, certification programs, the trade schools, the college access schools, and there's Gary Job Corps. And we also have lots of independent living centers. And here we have a list of post-secondary programs that you could click on for additional information as well through the Think College website. But what about the actual post-school outcome? Texas transition outcomes by the numbers. So 28.6% of working age adults in Texas with disabilities are employed. Approximately 90.3% of Texans aged 25 plus have graduated from college compared to only 9.7% of adults with disabilities. Only 21.4% of students with disabilities were enrolled in higher education within 1 year of leaving high school. So what can we do to support those students with their post-secondary education transition goals? So one thing that we do here at the center is to increase the knowledge of and the readiness for those post-secondary programs by going to transition fairs and things like that and sharing the opportunities available, getting into the schools while they're in high school, getting them exposed to what's out there, encouraging like field trips to colleges and exposure to different careers is important to support those students with their goals. We expand conceptions of college so the students are aware that when we say go to college, we don't mean move away from home and go somewhere for 4 years. There's all these different opportunities. Develop a culture of college knowledge, ensure clear transition goals and objectives, develop awareness of supports available beyond high school. So what's important there, and I know I'll get into this in a further slide, is just to let the students know that accommodations and things like that they get in high school are available in college. They have to go to the Office of Student with Disabilities and share their IEP paperwork with that office in order to have the opportunity to receive some of those accommodations in college. Some people feel like as soon as they stop, the IEP stops, and that's not necessarily true. But they must seek out that assistance. It's not going to be on their, I can't think of the word. When they graduate high school, it's not going to say it on their diploma. It's going to, it's not going to be on their transcript. They need to go seek out that support. So there's also student-centered transition planning, which when the students are in high school, we have meeting, we involve them in their IEP meetings, let them be active contributing members of their meetings. So when we're talking about transition goals, they're in the meeting and able to share what their goals are, supporting them as what a good life looks like to them. It doesn't always have to include post-secondary education, but it could. And we have to remember to include their strengths, preferences, and interests, not just what is available. It's hard in rural school districts. Sometimes we say, oh, all we have is this, but that's not true. We have lots of other opportunities for the students as well. Also, to provide work-based learning opportunities that are meaningful and aligned with their post-secondary goals. So if a student wants to work in the food industry, let's try to make sure that they get their food handler license if that's available while they're in high school, and take classes according to that pathway. What skills can we improve on that align with post-secondary education transition goals? Here's some recommendations from one Texas post-secondary education program. We can teach independent living skills such as time management, transportation, money management, taking care of their own health, like exposing them to opportunities where they can build those skills. If you have public transportation, having them have opportunities to utilize that transportation, work on money management in your classroom, give them options to open a checking account, having them write what their daily looks like if they're taking medication, what their medication schedule looks like, just so they are aware that whenever they aren't at home and mom's not laying out their medication anymore, are they able to manage their own medication. Skills specific to college living, like negotiating decisions with roommates and navigating the campus and community. So these are all things that can be just do like a social skills activity in the classroom, to like a role-playing activity for them to learn these skills. Skills for adult decision-making, like self-determinations. Then a lot of those could be built by involving them in their ARD committee meeting, having them speak up when they need assistance, learning to deal with adult problems like drugs, sex, alcohol, not getting enough sleep because they're choosing video games over rest or homework or work. And then just connecting them with natural supports, like Texas Workforce, Center for Independent Living, to ask how they can support them with their goals after high school. And that can be done through the school, or the parents can reach out to these agencies as well. Connect them with disability-specific groups on campus. And here's where I talked about meeting with the Disability Resource Office at the college or university, and scheduling time with their healthcare practitioners that you'll be working with post-high school to develop your plan for healthcare. It's important for us to help the students and the families understand the difference between high school and post-secondary in regards to what's required of the school. So in high school, we follow IDEA and ADA. The school is responsible for providing accommodations. We're responsible for identifying, implementing, and progress monitoring of the accommodations, and individualized based on the student. And the parents have access to student information, both health and academics, while they're enrolled in the public high school. And post-secondary education, it's only followed by the ADA. And the student, like I said earlier, is responsible to disclose that they have the disability to the disability office and the professor. And the accommodations might be based on the disability label and characteristics, not necessarily on the history of the accommodations you received in high school. Like I said, there may be accommodations you received in high school that you wouldn't receive in college, but you can definitely disclose all of that information. And then the parents typically do not have access to a student's health or academic records when they're in college, because the student is an adult. Of course, there's ways in order for them to have that access, but in college, they're 18, so they're an adult now. The post-secondary education disability office and faculty are not required nor allowed to share information with the parents. So they're going to want to communicate directly with the student. So it's important that the parents are aware of that whenever they reach that and not be surprised by that whenever they get there. Okay, here are some of the post-secondary programs. There's links for all of them here. Some of those are affiliated here with the CDD at Texas A&M University, and some of them are outside. All of them are here in Texas, though. Here's some Texas-specific information about post-secondary education. So we have the Student-Centered Transition Network, which has a ton of information for parents and students about just planning for post-secondary. The Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board is an advisory council for post-secondary educations for persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Texas Project First has more post-secondary education resources. Navigate Life Texas is just for college and alternatives for students with disabilities. There's also the Texas Council for Developmental Disabilities, which is a higher education resource guide for students with disabilities. And the next step is a video and discussion guide for stories of 5 different Texans with disabilities who enrolled in college and technical schools. And there's links there for you to view those videos as well. I see we have a couple of questions in the chat. I think we will wait till the end to answer all those. Okay. For the U.S. Department of Education Office of Civil Rights, the students with disabilities for preparing for post-secondary education know your rights and responsibilities. These are just some links to view. Transition of students with disabilities to post-secondary education. So there's tons of information out there to support the parent as they're preparing for that transition. And it's never too early to start that transition. That's why I like here in Texas, we start that planning at the age of 14, because those 4 years of high school go so fast, and it's important to start the process early. Okay, I'll check the questions here. Okay, someone said, for a student who is a minor and taking dual credit courses, why are parents not included in talking to the college when the students are under the age of 18? I would just personally, I would say it's because they're enrolled in college, and that's the college's policy, is they're not going to talk to the parent about that. Of course, you could still talk to the high school if the student's enrolled in high school and see if there's a way that they could communicate. But I would encourage your child to be the one that does the communication, because that's the way it's going to be when they go to school. All right, I'm going to pass the mic video chair off to Anita Lang now, who's going to share some information with you about Aggie Achieve. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anita Lang. I'm the Assistant Program Director for Aggie Achieve. Aggie Achieve is a comprehensive transition program here at Texas A&M. It's for young adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The program is designed to enroll students up to 4 years, and it provides an immersive college education and experience for the students. And our end goal is to equip the students for employment in the community. After successful completion of the program, Aggie Achieve students will earn a certificate in interdisciplinary studies from the College of Education and Human Development. So again, the program is Aggie Achieve. It is a 4-year program. Certificate of Interdisciplinary Studies is the credential that is earned. Criteria for admission: the student must have exited high school and no longer receiving IEP services from the high school. The average number of students accepted per year is up to 10 freshmen each fall semester. Our application opens October 1st and it closes December 1st. So we go along with the application deadline with Texas A&M University. The first 2 years of the program, the freshman and sophomore students do reside in White Creek housing. It's dorm-style apartment housing. The freshmen do reside with a residential mentor. Sophomores do not have a residential mentor, but they are still housed on campus. And in their junior and senior years, they can decide to live off campus in housing that they choose. So we're not a part of that selection. They usually determine that with their parents. The average cost for the program per year is about $30,000, give or take, with housing rates and then their meal plans and just fees and everything of the university. So what makes Aggie Achieve unique? Aggie Achieve is unique in that the Achieve students are Texas A&M University students. So they do have access to all amenities of the university, including the Rec Center, Career Center, Butyl Health, etc. Aggie Achieve is a certified comprehensive transition program, so it enables students to apply for financial aid and also receive scholarships. One piece of advice that I would offer to those preparing to apply, well, a couple actually, I would definitely look at the Aggie Achieve website. Most questions that people have are answered on the website in the frequently asked questions section. The application, the eligibility, all of that is on the website. But prior to applying for the program, I would definitely have your child practice sending and receiving emails and texting, communicating back and forth. As Kelly mentioned earlier, you can just kind of role play and get your child used to that. They also have to self-manage their medication and be able to call in their own doctor's appointments and things like that. So I would definitely practice that. Community safety skills and awareness, because Texas A&M is very large. The Aggie Achieve students are all over campus. They're not housed in one specific area. They take classes with their peers, and so they ride the bus, they ride scooters, they're all over campus. So community awareness and safety skills is very important here because it's super busy. And I would also have them practice maintaining appropriate social relationships. Sometimes when your child leaves home, there's that freedom and they're like, oh, wow, I get to have a boyfriend, girlfriend, or these relationships, and sometimes it's not the best. So I would definitely just practice those appropriate social skills. And I think that would help tremendously. Thank you.
Anita, we have a couple of questions
Okay.
in the question and answer for the Aggie Achieve program. So you may want to answer those before you pass the baton on to the next person. And so somebody asked, can a student that can't read or write be enrolled in the Aggie Achieve program?
So they must read and comprehend on at least a third grade reading level. They must be able to do that.
Perfect. Thank you for clarifying that. And then the next question, when it comes to financial aid, which forms do they need to complete if they're going into the Aggie Achieve program?
Definitely complete the FAFSA form. I would start there and make sure it's sent to Texas A&M. And then from there on, you could definitely contact the financial aid office. And I would also suggest, again, looking at the website, and it'll give you more information on scholarships and financial aid eligibility.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That is what we've got. Let's see. Okay. Does the program accept Chapter 35 VA benefits?
At this time, it does not. I recently had that question from a parent last fall, and so I checked into that with financial aid, and at this time, it does not.
Excellent. And then one final question for you before you turn the baton over. This is, I'm assuming, from a professional. Is there a certain graduation code for schools that is required for entry into the Aggie Achieve program?
No, it's definitely not. Again, I would say look at the eligibility criteria on the website. As long as they meet those eligibility criteria, definitely apply. No code required.
Excellent. Thank you so much for answering those questions. That's all the questions we have specific to Aggie Achieve.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Wu will be presenting next on working college opportunities and the HOPS program, or horticultural options in plant sciences.
Thank you, Anita. Howdy, everyone. I'm Dr. Jade Wu, Assistant Professor and Extension Specialist with AgriLife Extension. We're collaborating with CDD on developing these two programs. Anita, are you helping us proceeding the slide?
Yes, it's not.
Thank you so much. I'll first talk about our summer prerequisite program. It's the Work and College Opportunities Program. It's, like I said, it's a prerequisite for the horticultural options in plant sciences program, which is a 2-semester program. The WACO program, Work and College Opportunity, it's a 6-week summer residential program for individuals, young adults with disabilities. Students live on campus in dorms. We provide instruction in professionalism, self-determination, self-advocacy, teamwork, assistive technology, and help them develop independent living skills in other areas that are really connected to employment in college. They also get the opportunity to have paid work experience, and our project is also on the CBD's webpage. Or if you just Google TMU WACO program, you can find the program page. Next, thank you.
Hold one moment, please.
All right, no
Okay.
worries.
Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, thank you. So the first 2 weeks, we have a bunch of training students get. We help them navigate the university campus. Y'all know A&M has a huge campus. We have transportation training. They learn how to use school bus and public transit service. We have Social Security benefits presentation, vocational adjustment training, and we also have presenters from disability services letting the students know how they can support them. We also have technology class. We train the student to use college online platform, which is the platform they'll be using then if they get into the HOPS program for all their coursework. We also provide kitchen safety training because part of the program, WACO program component, which is always students, one of the best part is they get to learn to cook, and they actually cook not only for all the students, but also for our leadership team, all the staff members. Classes during the 6 weeks, we have self-determination, professionalism, we have a horticulture course because this is a prerequisite program for the horticulture 1-year program. Also have healthy relationship class, which we think is really important for the students. Weekly reflection class, which we debrief on what worked and what didn't work for a specific week. They also get the opportunity to audit 1 Berlin College courses. Thank you. Next one. Sorry, I forgot to mention, for the WACO program, students get to take the courses in the morning, and then they go to the job site in the afternoon. All right, then the horticulture options in plant sciences HOPS program. It's a 2-semester post-secondary transition certificate program. We help students develop knowledge and skills and experiences to get them ready for competitive integrated employment in the horticulture industry. So this is a specialized program working with plants and nature. We have 3 career tracks or fields, floral design, landscape management, and greenhouse and nursery production. Next one, please. The fall semester, which is the first semester, centers around core curriculum or college education. The courses are set to fit their chosen track. The 3 tracks: floral design, landscape management, and greenhouse and nursery production. In addition, we provide enrichment courses, self-determination, self-advocacy, professionalism, help with job-ready skills, like prepare for job application, mock interview, how to dress properly in a work setting, in communication, professional communication skills. We also have study skills, help them learn how to active learn and help develop independent living skills. We have optional driver's ed too. And we also have the opportunity for career exploration. We invite local businesses, professionals to come over and talk about, share their insight working in the industry. There are guest speakers. We also have academic professionals share their experience with the students. We encourage the students to be involved in university student organizations to mingle with their peers without disabilities, and also get the opportunity to volunteer in employment settings so they can get more skills to be ready for their future formal employment. The second semester, spring semester, centers around practicum and industry recognized credential training. Each track has the instructor that trains the student to prepare for industry recognized credential tests. And usually we have those trainings on Monday, and the rest of the week student go to the job site. So that's the practicum part. We have supervisor at the job site. We do midterm evaluation, final evaluation, and we have their supervisor at the job site fill out a competency list to show what competencies students have achieved during the practicum period. This is data from our last 2 years. This year, we're about to graduate our third cohort. Our graduation rate from the 2 years, 70%, 94.8%, and we have employment, post-graduation employment rates listed on this slide too. Overall, we have 82% employment rate, competitive integrated employment rate. Thank you. Next one. Thank you. This is the fact sheet about the HOPS program. It's a 1-year program, starts in fall, ends in spring. Students graduate in May. Students get the HOPS program diploma. And if they pass the industry recognized credential tests, they also get the certificate for that. We accept high school graduates. For HOPS program, we accept up to 15 students. For our next year, we already got 13 students. So if you're interested, please submit your application, which you can find on the CDD's website. Fill it out as soon as possible because we're also close to the deadline, which is the March 15th. Housing for Waco, I mentioned, is a summer residential program, so students live in dorm, but the HOPS program students live off campus. They can request the support from TWCVR to be paid for housing. The cost for HOPS program is $20,000. Unique thing about this program is this is a horticulture program. We're looking for students who are passionate about nature and enjoy working with plants. One piece of advice is basic computer skills are beneficial and highly recommended. If students can be familiar with Word document, PowerPoint slides, how to create presentation, that would be really beneficial, as those will be used frequently for their assignments and projects during the HOPS program. That's all about these 2 programs. Thank you.
Dr. Wu, we did have a question about the Waco program.
All right.
So the question was, what level of functioning does a student need to have in order to be appropriate for the Waco program?
Sorry, could you, I missed the first part.
What level of functioning does a student need to have for the Waco program?
Functioning. Could you,
Probably academic skills, things like that.
feel free to apply. We have like eligibility in the application. We also have interview. It usually happens online where we talk to students, find out about their functioning skills, and we actually evaluate the applicants, score them, and we select the top 30 students of that. But don't be hesitant to apply.
All right, thank you so much. I didn't see any other questions related to your program, so we can turn over to the next presenter.
Okay, well, we will welcome Ms. Letitia Lasota. She's going to present on the PASS program, and she is the director of the PASS program.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Leticia Lasota, and I'm the PASS program director here at Texas A&M. So some things about the PASS program is a post-secondary access and training in human services. In the PASS program, we have 3 different tracks in human services. We have a childcare professional, and this is for those individuals who will be supporting children 0 to 5 in a daycare setting. They will be doing things like supervising and monitoring the safety of children in their care, organizing toys and materials, changing diapers of infants and toddlers. Our next track is a direct support professional general. This is for individuals who like to support the elderly. They will be supporting them in a nursing home, in assisted living, hospice, or at home environments. Some of the things that they will be assisting them with is mobility needs, taking them to different activities that they may have in their communities, and supporting individuals with recreational activities. The other track that we have, the third track, is the direct support professional, paraprofessional. This is the most popular track that we have in our program. Most of the students like to be in this track, and that's to work in the school as a teacher aide. And they will be supporting the students with disabilities in a school setting, assisting sometimes with instruction, helping with data collection, or escorting students to different areas that they need to be during the day of instruction. So those are the 3 tracks that we have in the PASS program. Just to add about information about the PASS program, this is a 2-year program. There is 6 semesters. We start in the summer. The summer will help them to, we teach them to navigate the campus, to like self-advocacy. We help them to teach them how to cook or to be more independent, to prepare them for the following year semesters that they will be here in the program. Some of the support services that we offer to the students, we assign advisors to the student that they will be with them throughout the 2 years in the program. They will help them or support them with study plans development, time management skills, independent living skills, and social skill development. We also have instructional aides in the classroom. We have 2 to 3 instructional aid for most of the classes. They are there to help the students, to help them in a one-on-one if they need help or they need the extra support during the class. We also offer tutoring and a one-on-one assistant, either with an advisor, with the instructional aides, with the instructor, with the program coordinator, with the practicum coordinator, or with myself. So we all are available to assist the student on a one-on-one. We also, in their schedule, we build in different slots for office hours and study hall. This is additional time that we have set aside for them to be there, and we will typically have an instructor and instructional aide, maybe 1 or 2 advisors there available to help them if they're getting behind in modules. The modules can be hard. They are hard, some of them, so they will need that assistance and that time for them to dedicate to finish those modules or finishing assignments if they are getting behind. So we have those times of extra support that we have for the students to make sure that they don't get behind in their classes or in their modules. So this is an example of how the schedule will look for each semester. The first summer, they are here for 4 weeks. They will stay in a dorm here on campus. This is the only semester that they will be here on a dorm in the campus. Then they will choose with their parents a living place in dorm-like but off campus. Some of the classes that they take is the study skills, healthy relationships, budgeting, community day, technology. They also required to take two classes per semester, except for the summer. The summer they might take only 1 class, but for the fall and the spring they take a class with BBCL, which is the Brussels Valley Center for Independent Living place. So they will go there and take classes with them. So then a couple of things that I can highlight here in the schedule is for the spring 1, they are required to complete 60 hours of practicum. In the fall, they are required to complete 210, and the spring 2, they also required to complete 210. This is very achievable for our students. Most of the students complete over 1,000 hours in the practicum. So all of those are hands-on activities that they, or practice that they leave once they graduate from the program. So these are some pictures of our students at their practicums, assisting kids or cooking. They're doing different activities with their students that they are supporting and helping. This is some of the training that they have to take. They have to do the CPR training. This is required for the program. So this is just some pictures of our students taking that training. And as we know, the college is very expensive. So one thing about the PAST program, we have a partnership with Texas Workforce Commission. Most of the students are funded by the TWC. So I really encourage parents to, once they know that they are admitted into the program, to contact the Workforce Commission and find somebody locally to start the process. They require some documents, so we really advise for the parents to be on top of it. Submit the application on time with all the documents. That's the only way that we will be able to review the application. Our application opens from November 1st to March 1st. It just closed last week. And so we right now are starting to review the applications to admit 15 students for the next cohort. And that's all that I have. Thank you.
Were there any questions for about the PATS program?
I don't see any questions for the PACT program. We do have some questions, just some general questions as
And
well,
now-
whenever you are ready to answer those.
Okay, I just have a few things just to wrap up what we had shared. It's just important while the students are in school and after they get out to just talk about what their employment goals are, whether that be going to college or going straight to work. That should be a main focus for whenever they're in their ARD meetings, just discussing that, so we can plan accordingly. And just for the students to know and families to know that how many post-secondary options are out there. And we've shared so many of those here today. A really important piece is one thing that Ms. Lesotho shared is about the Texas workforce and getting connected with them as early as possible. Typically, it's during your senior year, you might get some information about that. But it's important to look at those resources that are shared during those ARD meetings about supports that are available and connect with those supports, because Texas Workforce can help with a lot of funding for post-secondary. So that's super important. And another way to keep the students involved and to continue to develop like their advocacy skills is the student-led ARDs. We do something in the iGrow program and here in the center called person-centered planning, where it's really just like an in-depth transition interview with the student and talking about what a good life looks like for them. They may share things in that meeting that may not be aware of. It's just super important for us to listen to their voice and not discourage, just so we know what they want to see for themselves and how we can help achieve those goals. And we are happy to answer any other questions. Everybody's still here in the room, so we can answer whatever y'all need.
All right, we do have some questions. As a reminder, if you're joining us on Zoom, if you would type your questions in the Q&A box, it's a little easier for us to see those than the chat box. And if you're joining us on Facebook, you can put that in the comments section. So one question, are these programs available at all of your Texas A&M campuses or just specific ones?
No, they're just available here in College Station.
Once. And so this one is for the PATH program. Does the PATH program admit transfer students? So a student with a disability started at a community college and then decided to not follow that route. Could they transfer into the PATH program?
They can apply. They can apply to the program, and we will just require for them to send us that transcript from that community college that they have previously attended.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so do any of the programs qualify for a child that has been adopted by their parents and then they get assistance through Department of Family and Protective Services? Like they have like tuition kind of things through adoption assistance. So would that money and those things be available for these programs?
They would just need to reach out to the specific program that they're looking into and ask the director those questions directly.
Perfect. Do you have anything for music or marine biology for students with disabilities?
Not yet. I mean, I would say, and maybe with the PADS program, if they were an aide at a school, they could be, if they went with the teacher to the music class. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
Courses that we're trying to increase the course catalog. So yeah, theater and things like that.
Right. And for Aggie Achieve, she said they're working on increasing the course catalog to expose them to more of those types of things like theater and things like that. So.
Excellent.
But I know we're all Aggies and yay, but there are other programs, at other universities that are listed there on that post-secondary options page. Of course, we want to promote our programs here, but there's others at other universities that could be looked into as well.
Absolutely. And then we had a parent from Facebook ask, is their child's school going to be knowledgeable about all of these different programs? So when they have meetings with their child's school, are they going to know about these programs and kind of help the parent in this process of applying and kind of getting connected to those programs?
Well, we have at the Texas Transition Conference, I mean, all schools are aware of those. There's at every school district, there's a transition designee that receives all of this information about these programs. But I would encourage the parent to continue, because at the school, they're going to give all these resources. It's just the parent looking into it and investigating it, and sharing it with the school. I mean, if the school doesn't know, but feel free for the parent to share it with the school. We go to transition fairs and share the program as well, at their programs as well, but sometimes we don't reach everyone. So there's that option.
Excellent. I'm trying to look through all the questions and check Facebook and Q&A. So, do any of these programs accept students that have guardianship or power of attorney, supported decision making, things like that?
No, Aggie Achieve and Paths do not accept those with guardianship with supported.
They need to be their own guardian.
They need to be their own guardian.
As we call in house.
Okay.
Excellent. And so let's see. Does the PATH program on the website list elective courses that are available for their students to take?
Everything that we have is on the website. They're welcome to go to the website, and if they have additional questions, they they can reach to me.
Right. Did you hear that?
Yes, we
Okay.
did. I think that's all the questions. I think I've gotten them all.
I have one thing to share. I just remembered we're in the development of a veterinary assistant program, which we will be launching it next fall. So keep an eye on the website. We will have the application on the website towards the end of this year for that program. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. I believe that was all of our questions that we had, and I don't see any more on Facebook either. So Kelly, I'll let you take a minute with any final thoughts or whatever before we wrap up our webinar.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, we just want to say how much we appreciate this opportunity to share our programs with you. We are in love with transition and are excited to share these opportunities for these students and these families. We encourage the families to reach out to any of us, to any of the directors, to the center, to their transition coordinator in their district to get that support as well. Please share. If your transition designee in the district isn't aware of these programs, please share that with them as well. And also just visit the CDD website about the programs and see other opportunities for trainings that are there. There's lots of different things that happen here in the Bryan College Station area. If anyone is local to the area for parents of students with disabilities or families, there's a big Brazos Valley Success Conference that just happened earlier or just last month. And there's the Texas Transition Conference that just happened last week. But there's also lots of other opportunities out there for families. And we appreciate this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Kelly, and thank you to all of you from Texas A&M University for coming and taking time to share about transition and about your programs. If you have additional questions, please let us know. So I'm going to share my screen one more time, and we're going to go ahead and wrap. So once again, I just want to thank everybody for joining us today for the webinar, and thank you for taking time, Kelly and Anita and Dr. Wu and Letitia, for sharing about your programs and answering questions. As a reminder, the recording of today's webinar will be available on our website at prntexas.org. And also our Facebook page under Partners Resource Network. And if you're needing a certificate of attendance, you will be receiving an email to thank you for attending today's webinar. You can follow a link in that email to get your certificate of attendance. And so we do have a couple of additional webinars coming up. Our next webinar is going to be Empowering Parents, Practical Sensory Supports for the Home with Andrea Webb from Region 10 Education Service Center on April 9th at 12:15. And then we're going to have Strategies and Tips to Avoid the Summer Slide with Dr. Michelle Simmons from West Texas A&M University on May 7th at 12:15. On the screen, I have got contact information for our Director of Statewide Services, Christina, our support specialist, Chelsea, and myself. Please be sure and check out our website, again, at prntexas.org for information on upcoming webinars and events in your local regions, as well as a ton of information available for you as parents. You can also like and follow us on Facebook at PRN Texas and on Twitter. Thank you again for being here. I'm going to do one quick check and see if we've got any additional questions as we're wrapping up. Yep, just a lot of thank yous for the information. So again, thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Kelly and team, for sharing about the wonderful programs that you have through A&M for us.
Thank you.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to stop sharing and we're going to end the webinar. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Stephanie.